Okay, sweetie, so you had a chance to read the book from front to back? Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions and you just share with me what you know.
Okay.
All right? So tell me what you learned or some of the things you learned about polar bears.
Well, I learned that polar bears, if they get too hot, they lay on their backs and bring their paws up. That's how they try to cool themselves down. And they also eat eels. And also after polar bear black skin, under there something's called blubber. That is what keeps polar bears floating. And blubber can be 2 to 4 inches long. No, wide. And you can usually find polar bears in the water or near the water because that's where they spend most of their time.
What did you say they eat?
I don't remember if it's seals or eels.
Okay. Okay, what else?
Polar bears, polar bears can be found in the North Pole or some super cold areas around it.
Do you know what the name was? Do you remember the name of the place where they were?
Arctic.
Good, good. Anything else about polar bears?
No.
Okay. Could you please turn to page 3?
Okay.
And on page 3, are there no page numbers? This one.
Oh.
Can you tell me what you've learned from this information, this drawing here?
I learned that is guard hair. That's what kind of guards the skin a little bit. And under that is fur. There under that is skin. And there is blubber.
Blubber.
Blubber looks like the thickest over here, but it's not.
What else can you get from all this information here? Anything else?
Polar bears need lots of that fur and stuff to keep themselves warm. Because if they don't have all of that protection, just a little bit less could make them super freezing.
Okay, I'm going to hold this up. So. Anything else you want to tell me about that picture, the information you get from there?
Let me see. I don't see anything else.
Great. Why is it important for polar bears to live where they do?
Because if they live anywhere warmer, they could get too hot. And if they live anywhere colder, they could get too cold. And if they live in the wrong areas, their whole nature, their whole nature could get a little destroyed. They wouldn't know how to keep themselves alive because there wouldn't be any seals or eels there. And also, it wouldn't be cold. And they would die probably in a little while because it's too hot. They have no food to eat. And maybe if they are in some places, it's going to be too cold. So they can't leave their environment. Maybe they can go a little bit beyond it, but not too far. Because if they go too far, they'll get too warm, hot, or cold.
Good. Thank you. Do you have any other questions about polar bears that weren't answered in the book?
Yes. Do polar bears marry, or do the girls just get their babies and let them off or something?
So you were asking, do polar bears, I want to write this down, do polar bears marry?
Yeah.
Or?
And do polar bears give birth to their babies and then let them go? I think do birds do that?
I don't know, do birds get married?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't know which animals get married and which don't.
I think humans are the only ones that I know about. But then I know the birds. The women give birth to their babies and keep them to learn how to fly a little bit, and then they fly and then go off to their own places.
Birds.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did that to human babies.
I won't be alive.
Ready for the next question?
Yes.
I'd like you to look at the beginning of the book, the first page. Can you look at the first page for me?
Sure.
So, listen to the question. Look at the way that the author begins this book. What does the author do to get you interested in a topic? What does the author do in her writing here that gets you, as the reader, interested in the topic?
Well, I was so interested when I saw the map. Because I was like, a map. What could involve a map? And not too cold for a polar bear. I was like, too cold for a polar bear, huh? Well, they're super furry. But how did it be too cold for a polar bear?
Okay, good.
It
How
got
about
me a
that
little
first
interested.
paragraph there, though?
What's
Is
a
there any?
paragraph?
I'm sorry, you're right. A paragraph is this block of text right here. So, I want you to read that in your head, and after you read it, I want you to think: is the author doing anything there?
Okay.
Or what's the author doing there that gets you, the reader, interested in the book?
Okay. I'm done.
Okay, so the author begins it in a certain way. What does the author do to get you interested?
It's kind of like a little cliffhanger that makes people interested into reading the book. It makes people like, how do polar bears keep themselves warm? That's like kind of like a little cliffhanger. Just a little cliffhanger that then makes people want to read the entire book.
Gotcha.
I guess every single paragraph has a little cliffhanger that makes people want to read more.
Sounds good. Now, let's go to the end of the book.
Okay.
And I'd like you to do the same thing. Look at the writing. Go ahead and take a minute to read that page in your head.
Is that a paragraph?
Yep, you're right. So this would be a paragraph. Here's a paragraph. Here's a paragraph. Go ahead and read it, and we'll talk about it in a second. Excuse me. Okay, so how did the author end the book?
She ended the book by writing over here. She wrote, usually blurber is 2 or 4 inches thick, and above that there was a tiny cliffhanger that'd make them just a tiny bit more. And then that, like, she kind of finished the book with like a cliffhanger ender, but also a cliffhanger ender and kind of also a cliffhanger. Like, it's kind of like a cliffhanger and cliffhanger ender, because you feel like you want to read more, like a cliffhanger, and you also like the book's done and there's nothing else to learn. It's kind of like that.
Do you think this is a good way to end?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think it's good to end like in a tiny cliffhanger that can make others want to read your other books. That would make people very interested into your
Good job. Thank you very much.